So yeah, we're back with Ben Poppleton. You were the first person to receive a black belt from a Gracie, born in the UK, I believe.
Yeah.
Proud of that achievement?
Not really. It's fucking irrelevant, isn't it, really? Nobody gives a shit. I mean, I can't imagine anybody in 30 years caring. They definitely don't care now.
So we just finished up a seminar on chokes. We've been affiliated to Gordo Europe for the last few years now. And so how did that come about? Obviously, you've trained extensively under Gordo. How did the Gordo Europe movement come about?
Yeah, I've known him for, Christ, what would it be? 24 years. When I lived in Brazil, I lived at his mum's house, at Dercy Lima's house, with Dercy and his younger brother, Gordino. I had one bedroom, we had the other. Dercy had the other. So Gordo would come often around, and I'd see him at the gym anyway and spar with him. Spar with them is a bad way of explaining it. They would beat me up and teach me stuff. And so I had a contact with him straight away, and he's a very sort of different fella. He's very, very, very odd, and I like odd people. He's got almost zero money motivation at all. His demeanour's always the same. If he won the lottery or all his family burned in a fucking fire, it'd be the same. He just doesn't change. And there was always this idea. He was one of the first guys from Bar Gracie to open his own sort of thing outside of it. I think it was about 10 miles down the road at Nova Leblon, so further down, slightly further south along the beach. And I used to go and train with him there as well. But it was all affiliated to Bar Gracie, to his bar, through Carlinhos. And it was always on the cards that something was going to happen, really. But I'm slow and steady, I am. But he's even worse so. He was just bide your time. I'll let you know when I want something to take place. And there was, over the years of it being developed in the UK, because I was the only real guy in the north, only fella in the north, I had contact with quite a lot of men over like a 20-year period. And as the Brazilians would come over, I'd put them into contact with them, and they'd help take charge of what was going on because they were higher ranked in that. Then when eventually Gordo, it must be about 5 years ago now, finally said, right, do something in Europe. He'd moved from, he was over in Abu Dhabi. He was the head of the program. You know, the program that has the 500 black belts. He was a chief that would deal with the understudy of the sheikh or the prince, whatever. And once he moved from there to Florida full time, he said, right, go. He said, start now. I went, okay. So it was in the pipeline for 10 years maybe, just waiting for when. And it was dead simple because I just basically contacted all the lads that still knew me, that had helped develop their jiu-jitsu and their gyms in the UK, and they all went, yeah, I'm in. And there was an added strength to it as well because Gordo's association is linked with other ones, like John Jacks, Half, Tidinho, Carlos Machado, lots of big names, Pedro Pano, and they're all under another association. So all their associations are under one ring. It's called One Ring BJJ. Right. So if ever I sign somebody's document for a world ranking tournament under Gordo Europe, they always ring me up and say, but it says One Ring. I'm like, yeah, it's the same thing. Right. But all the lads in One Ring, the head men, are all the men that were the main men in Gracie Bar. Gracie Bar, the new one, isn't Bar Gracie. Old Bar Gracie is One Ring. They're all of them in it. That makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting for me to see. All the head lineup is the blokes that were the guys on the mat at Bar Gracie. And that's how it started, really. That's simple. And it's a real simple premise. You're just either in or you're not. Run it a little bit like a motorcycle club. Yeah. In a way, it's like, I know the men that are in it. People either get recommended or they approach you. And we either know you or we don't. And I don't want more, I want better. Yeah. And it don't cost anything at all. You do what you want. But there's just no wankers. None. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I can remember when I asked Lyndon about joining, and I think you asked a couple of people like who the devil I was to start with. And then obviously a couple of people vouched for me.
Straight away, they're like, I know him. We've been around for years. He said, yeah, it'd be spot on. The people will just say, oh, then you just mention it. So I have to have the last say. So it's a little bit like what do you call it? The King Arthur's Round Table. I figure out, but I have to have the last say because it's my neck on fucking across Gordo's chopping block at the end of the day. But generally speaking, these lads do the chop. They're like, well, he's sound eating, you know. Yeah. That's it. It's dead simple. And it works. Like, I know men that are real Hell's Angels and that's how they run it. And I asked them how they did it. You know, I said, what you do is you prospect. I mean, do you know if it fits? You ask the other men if they're right, and it's dead easy. It works really well.
So how many affiliates have you got?
No idea.
Really?
But it's irrelevant because they're all sound.
Yeah.
How many is in that group? There must be 20 or 30 schools.
Yeah, at least I would have thought. Yeah.
And they've sometimes got lads. So sometimes you get good men. Let's talk about like the South Coast. They're miles away. I can't deal with that. But I know the men down there and they're good men. And somebody might want to be associated with the Gordo thing. And I say, well, yeah, but not only do we not really know you that well, or I don't know you that well, they know you in bits, or you might be too close to one of their clubs. So just affiliate to them.
Yeah.
And then by proxy you're in this. For now.
Yeah.
And if it don't work out, off you go. If it does, then you become a bigger part of it. But slowly and steady, not just for me and Gordo, but for you as well who's joining. So you get to know how it's working.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's funny sometimes on that group, if you've not seen it, like lads have come on, I just want to introduce myself, and I just write, no one fucking cares, man. They're talking about porn. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, there's some funny things that go on in that group.
No one cares. What are you on about? Have you met Gordo? We don't give a shit.
So do you get to visit most of the gyms throughout the year, or is there some that you wouldn't have seen for years? And
So I haven't seen for 8. I can't be arsed. It's miles away.
Yeah.
I don't. That's why they're in, because I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I'm busy doing my other stuff, you know. Somebody rings me up from, I don't know, Exeter. I want to get in touch with Mark in Truro or Kenny in Plymouth and say, go and see him, because he wants a seminar. You go and do that and talk to him about what he's doing and let me know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And then whatever you say is right, because these lads have trained for years, you know, And same as me, they just don't want any dickheads, because they've been through it.
Yeah.
Sometimes lads try and tell me stories about, you never guess what's happened. I'm like, I can guarantee, right, if you let me write this down, it's going to be identical what you're going to tell me. Because I've heard it all before.
So how often are you back in the UK then?
Depends. Usually when it's warmer.
So for the summer months.
A few times a year. Come and see me old mum.
Yeah.
Get my mum to moan at me.
Yeah.
Move a few things around in her house to upset her.
So do you go to stay with your mum then, do you? When you come
Yeah,
back?
she's got like a big old farmhouse and that. Stay with my old mum and dad and just piss them off a little bit. Get on the nerves. And
what about when you're out in Tenerife? Whereabouts do you live?
South Island.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Pleasant.
It's like in America, so outside.
Well, other side of the motorway, so where people live. But I can see Americas down the hill from where I am, you know.
Okay.
I'm away from noise and crap. I can't be bothered with it. I don't want it anymore. I'm too old.
Yeah.
Too miserable.
You don't do the partying anymore.
Fuck, I couldn't stand it in first.
It's all about the sleep, ain't it, when you get past a certain age?
I don't like drunks. Alcohol's just... No.
Do you drink at all?
No.
Yeah.
For several reasons. I mean, we're not supposed to, I know that. Medically and in terms of the human body, and from some of the books tell us you're not supposed to drink. It's not for drinking.
Yeah.
You know, and you only have to be out with drunks having a good time to realise that they're not having a good time, they're just drunk.
Yeah.
It's only funny because you're drunk.
Yeah.
And if it's not funny when you're not drunk, it weren't funny. It's just that you were drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't. I had a chat with Iman once about it. And I was telling him about how, to me, it's interesting how there's about 4 different types of drunk. And you can talk to people that don't know you're 4 different drunks, but they know 4 drunks that are exactly the same way. Yeah. So your nasty drunk's the same as the nasty drunk he knows. The violent drunk that you know is the same as the violent drunk that he knows. The stupid drunk's the same as the stupid drunk. They behave in the same way. And they were looking at him like, we're stupid. And he went, what? And he went, it's the same demon. And I just had a moment. I thought, bloody hell, that's a bit deep. Yeah, it's the same demon, he said. It's how it behaves. I'm like, fair enough, yeah.
So what's the long-term goal for Gordo?
Of him?
Do you think about for Gordo Europe? Yeah. So what is it like? What are you trying to take it to? Is there a certain amount of affiliates you want to get? You just want to spread it through?
No, I don't think about spreading it. I don't think about affiliation. I think mine and Gordo's hopefully message is very similar. In fact, I'm sure it is. You know, at the very beginning when I was saying to him, you know, I don't know about you, Gordo, but I don't want them having to wear the kit. I don't want them paying fees. They pay for training. That's what they pay for. Right. There's no affiliation fees. They can wear any kit they want, blah, blah. It's nice if they keep their own badge next to yours on the wall, because he does that with the one ring. He says, I like that too, you know. And it's more about that, if you think about how that works, that lads should be paying for training. I didn't like the way that people got held back just because they couldn't get something signed or be looked after because they weren't willing to part with a few £1,000 a year for nothing.
Yeah.
Lots of this going on. And they just don't sign the paperwork, or they don't allow them to promote, or they don't, just because they're holding them to ransom, mainly. I can't imagine getting asked to go to a seminar because they have to have you, as opposed to that they want you to come.
Yeah.
I've seen men wanting over £1,000 for a seminar. The lad's got them £950, and they've stood there whilst he got his own wallet out. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like, take a bit of money and give the lad some money to take his missus out for a curry or something. Like, what are you doing? But maybe that's fine. You do what you want, but I'll do what I want. And I like it this way. So I don't think about growing it at all. It grows itself.
Yeah.
It grows itself, you know.
Yeah, one of the things I spoke to about Bobby up in Durham. Remember you were telling me to go
Yeah,
there to see how the kids how the kids classes work.
Because him and his missus' qualification, the PhDs in coaching.
Yeah.
So they can help the lads. Look at that for integration. He don't want any money from you. He'd be like, come and he'd probably want you to coach him something, because you know he's jiu-jitsu's better than his.
He couldn't have been any more welcoming to me.
Oh,
so I went up in the morning. I mean, we had a phone call before, maybe a month before I went up, and he literally just laid everything out. He said, this is how I run the gym, this is what we do with the kids. I barely even asked him a question. He just laid everything out for me.
What did he do? Have you coached something?
No, I just went up to see him.
Because I'm surprised he didn't do that. It's like a quid pro quo, you know what I mean? Well, you do that for
I just watched the kids' classes, and then Reese was teaching some bits afterwards, and Bobby had to go, so I just joined in on Reese's class, and we just had some rounds with me and Reese had some rounds and whatever, but yeah, they were brilliant. But one of the things he was saying is that he was with previous
teams,
and he went through the same thing where he was being charged so much, everyone had to wear the kit, he didn't get a cut of the kit, he had to sell the kit for them. And eventually weirdly he said he went to a competition and seeing this person, obviously I'm not going to out this who it is, but he said he's seen that competition and they didn't really have anything to say to him. He said so there was really never any friendship there.
Like what the fuck?
Do you know what I mean? It was
I think with some of them, which I'll never forget, because I remember I remember being in Baja de Tijuca with Baja Gracie, and it isn't what it is now at all. The concept of it was different, and one thing I will not understand is this strange nonsense about threats to the Red Shield. What are you talking about? We're not in Afghanistan. A threat. You can't talk to him because he's now wearing a different T-shirt. So that guy that you knew for years is now your enemy.
Yeah.
Behave. This is just wrong. There's something inherently wrong about that on a bad level. And I'll never come to terms with why they've done it. Go and do your franchise, that's fine. It really suits some people, that franchise. It suits perfectly. But don't make them think that people are enemies and they're no longer allowed to talk to them. That's just a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
A bad thing, making hate. Why?
Yeah.
Well, I'll never understand that.
Yeah, I can remember at my old gym, Leicester Shoot Fighters, there was a guy who had come from one of these teams to do a seminar with my old coach, Nathan Leverton.
Oh, and, Urbanic knows Nathan, yeah.
And he was banned basically from coming over. He had to tell Nathan he couldn't come to the seminar.
Jesus.
And this was years ago as well, so...
You see, it wasn't like that. When I was with Bar Gracie, they wanted you to do everything to get better.
So why do you think it's changing? Just money?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate. You know, I think there might have been a confusion between how Brits think and how Americans think, because we look and sound the same to them. Maybe I'm speaking out of line there. I don't know. That what works in America does not work in England. We just don't stand for it. We're a strange fucking culture, aren't we? We don't seem to like his own country. We just fucking hate everybody else's. You notice that about Brits? We're very sort of self-spite? If you ordered us to do something and it were really good, we'd do it just because we wouldn't do it because you ordered us to. No. I think that's sort of the way we are. I think we don't speak German, not because we loved England so much, we just really hated Hitler. We're a strange breed. And I think what the demands that some things make that come from an American model just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bollocks. But that's my take on it. That's what I'd think. If I had to have a guess and forced to guess with a gun jammed up my arsehole, I'd guess at that. So, well, I think it's because, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Mauricio Gomez once said years ago that he had to explain to Carlos that our culture is very different to America. It's a small country, and he said there's a lot of fucking people. A lot of people, because he got sent on his own first, Morrison. Hodge's dad, Roger Gracie's dad.
Yeah.
Carlos was like, oh, I mean, it's as big as a state in Brazil. Hugo Mauricio, you speak perfect English because he got brought up in Queens in New York. And he got there, and after 10 minutes, I had to read Carlos and say, there's fucking 60 million people here. It's a big fucking place.
Yeah.
More than me. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
All right, so I want to ask you about, I'll get to it in a minute, but I want to ask you how you got to live your current lifestyle as you do now. But just before I get to that, I just want to blast out a few questions. So every time I do a podcast, I do like a little quick fire round, basically. It doesn't always have to be...
You're not asking me to think quicker. You got a fucking job, mate.
It doesn't always have to be quick. You can obviously talk as much as you want about everything. But I'll start off with gi or no gi. Which do you prefer?
I don't think I've got a preference. I think they're so different, aren't they?
Do you train both the same amount? Have you always trained both the same amount?
Depending on what you were focusing on at the time. So, no, it were mainly a lot of gi work. The no gi was based around Vale Tudo stuff. And I still can't help but think that when I train with no gi, I can't really be super excited about positions where I think he's just going to stamp on my head. Not that that's even relevant either. I mean, it's a farcical thing for me to say because I find the idea of one being better for self-defence than the other a farce. Because everybody I've known that was hard as nails self-defence didn't have any skill at all.
Yeah.
I've often said I can trump you with 2 words, Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
You know, martial arts ability and combat training has got nothing to do with self-defence, has it? It's just my missus is brilliant at self-defence because she's paranoid to fuck.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So gi, no gi, they're both different, aren't they? No gi moves a lot more, doesn't it? There's more stuff you can do with a gi, and you can do stuff facing him, and you can pull more on levers, and you can slow it down. And there's tricks you can pull off because there's a gi on, and I think it's got its place. I think as you get older, you tend to sometimes bend towards the gi as well because it slows it down because there's a cloth between you, isn't it? It's like a towel between you as well. So I like them both.
I'd agree with all of that.
They're both just a game, aren't they? But once again, I think that... So if you think about judo, catch, and the sport of wrestling, they're all from a circus performing act point of view. A performing act, please the crowd. Lots of moves, showman. Mm-hmm. Whereas Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wasn't, was it? It was about not losing. Mm-hmm. Didn't care what the crowd think, didn't care how boring it was. That's changing now, which is putting bodies in arenas. Awesome, but it ain't the same coming from the same sort of core as what it originally was. It used to be much more boring to watch. So the no gi back then was based around a no holds barred fight in your speedos.
Yeah.
Now, fucking hell, the moves that people do now are unbelievable. Would they work in a real fight? Well, who are you fighting? Because you're just going to go to fucking prison. Because I have that beef with that as well. Yeah, but you know, when you're walking down an alley and somebody jumps you from behind, where the fuck do you live? I'm from north of England and I never had that happen, and I've been battered loads of times. But it doesn't happen like that. Somebody grabs you from behind it, pub, and you turn around and stab them with your keys, and it's your auntie saying hello. You're like, what are you doing, mate? You know,
All right, good answer. Have you got a favourite meal?
Curry.
Yeah?
Everything that Indians and Pakistanis make is just awesome.
You did have that 7 days a week?
I'd have it every meal, 7 days a week.
For training?
Yeah, all of it.
So you don't care about... you don't have a special meal for training or anything like that?
For training?
Yeah, like say if you're going to have a training day or anything, you just
eat loads of animal protein. And sufficient carbohydrate. Sweet carbohydrate. Simple, easy digestible. Easy carbohydrates, sweet fruits, maybe a bit of rice. Plenty of animal protein, preferably ruminants. I don't really eat stuff that's not got more than one stomach because it's just full of shit. Don't eat pig anyway because we're not supposed to. Back to that again. Don't eat pig at all. Chicken's a bit overrated, isn't it? It's a crap animal, really. I don't think we ate it until about 100 years ago. Did we at all? Not really, I don't think. We had other birds, didn't we?
What's your go-to then? What's your go-to meat if you're going to...
Beef. Beef and sheep. Cleans itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tends to be, even if it's terribly, it tends to be all right. I feel better when I eat that. That's just my preference. But I have to use carbohydrates.
Yeah.
I don't like these carnivore only, and it doesn't suit me that at all. I feel my thyroid shut down.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all. I need some carbs.
Okay. Other hobbies besides jiu-jitsu, do you have any?
What do? I like weightlifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that as well. Have you got
bad words? I like training with weights.
Okay.
I don't know the lifts. I don't know snatch and clean and jerk. I don't know.
Okay, what's your go-to weightlifting? Like you're a bench presser or you're a squatter?
No, I don't like. I don't do bench press anymore because I don't think it helps much with strength compared to overhead press. I think it's good to train it as like an accessory. So maybe dips or press ups or something which makes more sense. The men that I trust, which have got their heavy qualifications in this, explained it to me and convinced me. But equally with shoulder problems, you start thinking, I'm getting damaged here. They showed me how it's not a natural movement, bench pressing. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem to follow evolution very well. Dipping and press ups does.
Yeah.
Leave it to them. I hope nobody holds me on that because I want to refer them to experts. I think they only do it because it's in the power set. My dad said that they brought the bench press in when he was a lad. He was a powerlifter, my dad. Right. He said they brought the bench press in because they couldn't check whether the standing press was cheating or not. They were dipping the knees.
Right.
So they brought but now they found a way to cheat with bench press anyway because he arched the back that fucking far. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But main lifts, squats, deadlifts, overhead pressing, bits of volume. I think Wendler's stuff's good. Dog crap, that Dante Trudel seems to work.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you flow roll?
To warm up.
Okay.
After that.
The reason I'm surviving asking that is 'cause obviously I listened to Dan Strauss's podcast, and I think it was in there anyway, unless it was on a seminar you've said it, where you said you didn't know what flow rolling was when someone first asked you about it.
Do you want a flow roll? I thought it was like a sandwich. No, honestly.
So that's what I'm asking you now. Like,
do you want a roll?
That's part
I'm not hungry. I've had my dinner. No. It doesn't.
But to warm up, you'd use it?
Maybe. A little bit, for a couple of minutes, until it... I don't think that... Speak to men that are 1,000 times more intelligent than me. And humans are specific. Really specific. I think most mammals are, aren't they? So if you're not careful, you're just creating like a negative practice pattern that's not real.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Nobody does it like that with that weak amount of force and power. They just don't. It's all right, but you can do it, but don't think it's going to be like it is when you spar.
Yeah.
It's as far removed from real sparring as practicing the move on a compliant person so you can practice the move.
Yeah.
It's not really real. So I think it's just another way of practicing the move, a flow roll. But it ain't sparring at all. Yeah. At all. Because people don't power up like they do when they spar.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, everybody.
Yeah.
If they don't, they're lying.
So what do you think about the traditional warm-ups of jiu-jitsu, doing your shrimping down the mats and even like press-ups and things like that? Because a lot of people are really kind of slating that at the minute. I know it's almost like a trending thing that people will say anything that's not jiu-jitsu related, like doing press-ups for a warm-up, shouldn't exist basically. And
Gore's not wrong about this because he used to work for the Judo Association down at Bisham's Abbey or whatever, and obviously they've got very high ranking academics in this, and he said that he got well educated and he just wants to be 5 minutes. And I think press ups and that and running out spots sound if you've got loads of people in the hall and there's no fucking room.
Yeah.
Innit? You just want to get warm. I mean, press ups and shrimping down mat, it'll warm you up. It warms my hips up.
Yeah.
Some bridges and some dives and some warms me up. Then I want to spar.
Yeah. Would you have a stretch as well after that once you got moving?
I don't. What did they say about that? Should it not be done at ending? Aren't we going to be careful of that anyway? Don't we want to maintain the flexibility that we've naturally born with genetically, but no more? Because it's just bullshit, innit? I know Ripperto spoke about that, didn't he? Talk about this idea of getting more flexible. He's like, why? It makes you worse.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Makes you fucking useless.
I mean, it's supposed to be quite dangerous to try and become flexible and lifting weights, right?
Well, yeah, isn't it like I said, though, Liam, isn't it that's your capacity of flexibility and you should hold that. So if you feel a level of tension in your muscle and you need to stretch so you get it to where it should be, but not over what you're naturally predisposed to being.
Yeah.
A far better use of your time is getting fucking stronger. Mm-hmm. Back to Lewis Simmons again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nobody was too strong for the fucking sport. Nobody. But being super flexible, when's that ever really helped you?
Me personally, I can't say so.
I've never.
But I see some grapplers that are like pieces of spaghetti.
But they were always like that, weren't they? Weren't they always bendy people?
Yeah, true.
I might be talking shit.
True.
I just don't think it's a good use of time.
Yeah.
I don't think being flexible is particularly. And when I see what they do, I think I'm not sure that those articulations are going to take that stress over time at all. I think a lot of gymnasts end up fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, when you see them at the Olympics and that, they're all very young, aren't they? And once they hit the 20s, there's not many of them that are still about. There's a couple that...
I think they end up fucked.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that, but I think they do.
Yeah.
I don't think your bodies can... I think you're better being more rigid and strong.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, who's your favourite grappler? That could be like of all time, I guess, but...
Good grief.
Is there anyone in particular you like to watch? Do you watch any jiu-jitsu nowadays?
No, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes in bits. The problem with them programs is that the fucking commentators. Oh, it's like throwing fucking acid in your fucking ears. And what I don't understand about them is that I think what that I watched a bit of that Craig Jones one. That was fucking ace because he made it a right spectacle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about before?
Yeah.
Showman's event.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't bring jugglers out and like a woman with 3 tits. No, I'm serious. It'd have been ace.
If you suggested that to me, you probably would.
It'd have been ace. But then what didn't follow suit was the boringness of the guys doing the commentator. I'm like, just shut the fuck. Do you know what they don't realise? Right, when you're a commentator, it's got to be that some people might be listening to it on radio.
Yeah.
They can't see.
Yeah,
so explain what the fuck's happening or shut up.
Yeah, I think that's probably got lost a little bit with the TV years.
They got on my tits. I just had to turn them off and watch the fight.
Yeah.
But I thought, race that event.
Yeah.
Right good event.
Yeah.
Really good how we put it together. A proper spectacle. Like I said, I don't know why they didn't add pole dancers come on it. Fuck, have strippers come on. It'd have been ace. That's what people want to see. Now I've got a mate that's on about doing on Sheffield, same thing. He's going to get Hells Angels to come down and do the security with bikes and it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and he's going to do it a bit like I think he's going to have events on and a bit like when Chris Evans had that Thank Fuck It's Friday, whatever it was, where stuff would just want tonic crowd.
Yeah.
Right, going to have challenges, right? You come down and challenge him if you want. If it can last a minute, you get an holiday to Benidorm. Stuff like that. Just crazy shit. It'll go down a storm. I forgot you asked me. Favourite grapplers? I mean, Yamashita, judo. I don't think anybody would have ever beaten him with a gi on at all in that sort of environment. I think even in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu environment, to be like a 10-minute black belt fight, I don't think anybody beat Yamashita.
Yeah.
Hickson, that's fucking unbelievable. John Jack Machado, fucking unbelievable. And the big Russian guy, some of the stories from him, the Carolyn, I mean, fucking Christ, some of the stories you get from him, how he could pick kids up by their head off floor, just the fuck, man. Yeah.
All legends then.
Legendary stuff. Some of these young lads are fucking so skilled now that they'll become legends as well, I think. On that legendary status, it was funny as well, because I mean, Hodges means people say, best you've ever trained with, and trainers get beat up by him. I mean, if Hodgie Gracie, I mean, fucking hell, man. One of the lads in Brazil said it best. He said, he just straight faced us says, every time I spar with Hodgie, I just want to throw my belt in bin. I'm like, I know, it's just fucking ridiculous. But, like his dad always made me laugh. Morrison, big Mauricio Gomez, Hodges' dad. He always, people don't know that Mauricio Gomez never got beat in competition.
Really?
So even though Hodges is the greatest, he did lose. And like Mauricio says, I remind him of this every fucking day. I didn't lose, son. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a mean old bastard.
So how did you come to your current situation of living between Tenerife and England then? Because obviously I know you spent a lot of time in Brazil, but how did Tenerife come about and why Tenerife?
I've got foreign family. Spent a lot of time abroad when I was a kid. Like Spain, I always wanted to live somewhere warmer anyway.
Yeah.
I've never spent a lot of money. I live sort of cheap, but not, I wouldn't say through choice, it's just luck. I don't like stuff that's expensive. Not because it's expensive, I've just never been bothered.
Yeah.
I never chased women, I've never chased flash cars.
Yeah.
And they seem to fuck most lads up, women and fast cars. They're a fortune, both. And both together, it's fucking exponential, isn't it? Yeah,
this is what I wanted to talk about as well, because you mentioned something on Dan's podcast about living in a caravan.
Oh, yeah.
So, how old were you when you went to Brazil?
Maybe 25, 26, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So at that time you would have been living in a caravan and then travelling back and forth?
Yeah, well, basically there.
Yeah.
And if I had to do something with a visa, it wasn't like it is now. You just fucking got a passport, ripped a page out.
Yeah.
There's no computerised system. So you just in and out easy. I was just basically in Brazil. It was cheaper to fucking live, So
So how did you make money to be able to do that, to be able to go back and forth?
Because it was 7 fucking reais to £1.
Yeah.
And you got the same for one real as you got for £1. So a quid got you a can of Coke and a Mars bar, and one real got you a can of Coke and a fucking Mars bar.
Yeah.
But when you changed a quid, you got 7 of theirs.
Yeah.
I just made it last as long as I fucking could.
Yeah.
I just lived at Gordo's mum's house and didn't do out.
Okay. So
I knew some Americans that had been there and spent $70,000. Well, and they're like, "How much have you spent?" I've said 3. How long have you been here? What this? No, in 3 years. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Mum and Dad's credit card they had. Like, fucking idiots. Yeah.
So you didn't work at all then in that period that you were?
I didn't need to. I think my granny gave me $5,000, my grandma, right. And I just made it last.
Yeah.
So we were there. I got me 35 fucking thousand reals. That was like having 35 grand in English.
Yeah.
Well, it's not hard. 5 years, just take your time. Just steady, easy.
Yeah.
It weren't difficult. I think I've always made half decent choices. I like to think that, in terms of not shooting myself in foot with stuff. People are like a bull out of a gate sometimes. I think, fucking hell, you're gonna have to worry about that one later. Yeah. They seem to buy an house quicker than they buy a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. It's kind of just like the done thing, though, isn't it, in this country, I think. I think a lot of kids grow up thinking, okay, it's time to now get a job, whatever,
True,
get a bird, get a house.
That's okay, but then they do stupid stuff. Like, spend 120 quid on a pair of fucking flip-flops. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they've got a car that costs this and insurance that costs... Because loads of tricks have been pulled on it. People don't pay for insurance every year now, they pay for it monthly. Same with the phone. I look at them and I think, fucking hell, you've got to find 500 quid every Monday morning before you start. Yeah. And that's on stuff that's not worth, though. That's not your kids' clothes and your food and your mortgage and your missus. That's on shit that's just worthless.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've done it. Look at me, I look like I'm fucking homeless. I think everything I've got on, I got given.
Yeah.
I don't understand that idea of, especially with men. I mean, you can only wear one pair of shorts and one fucking t-shirt at a time.
Yeah.
They're showing off, and I think, well, that's fine, but unless you're very, very rich, you're not going to go and live somewhere nice.
Yeah.
Because you've buried your fucking son. You are where you are, and that's it. And they were your choices. You were dumb.
Yeah. And it's about having those experiences as well. Isn't it? Like, I mean, you've had some amazing experiences through jiu-jitsu and being able to travel. And there's probably people that are, you know, I don't know, making 50, 60 grand a year or whatever.
But they might want to do that. If they want to do that, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not judging them.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they didn't want to do that, then why did you?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
You want a 90 grand Range Rover, ace.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I think it looks mint. I'll go in it, I'm like, this is the right car. Amazing. But then if you piss and moan about it, I'm thinking, hold on, you've not got leukemia.
Yeah.
This didn't happen. You bought it.
Yeah.
The fuck... Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I got brought up better and harsher. I don't know. Where my dad and my mum would be, you know, you're a representative of yourself. It's your own choices. If you fuck up, it's on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what we were talking earlier, isn't it? With how this generation is, for the most part. You need a bit of that grit from back in the day, do you know what I mean? To get you through
Anybody that's
life.
got kids that's bringing them up properly, tough, is going to have an easy fucking life. The kids are going to do well because they've got no competition. Because there's a lot more just fucking spanners about. They're useless. Fucking useless. Beyond useless. You see them at side of road every day. Car pulled over. Because flat tyre.
Yeah.
Where's spare? I ain't even got one. Don't even have a spare. I've got a punch it other year in my Focus going out of my mother's. Raining. I thought, fucking right, I'll time this in 8 minutes. Tyre off, tyre on. Poof. Yes, covered in shit hour. Done. No. Nowadays, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you see a lot of people standing at the side of the road just waiting for the
see them stopped in fucking passing lane on motorway.
Yeah.
Stood round car.
Yeah.
The fuck, talk about getting in Darwin Awards.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But I've got a PhD in something. You got a PhD in Mong, you bastard. That's what you've got. Thick as fuck. Like, what are you doing?
So how old were you when you started jiu-jitsu? Started training? Or have you, it's just
Early
always
20s.
been a part? Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't long before you went to Brazil then?
No, I won't have what better to do.
Yeah. What did you do around that time? Did you have a job?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, the pizza shop.
Yeah.
It's fucked about. I'm not doing much. Like, I enjoy this. I might as well enjoy myself.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in England that had particular value that I wanted to create. I trained with Gordo, and my stand-up was shite. My standing judo was terrible. My Niwaza were all right, and he were like, well, you seem to have a better penchant for that than you do standing. So it's either Japan, but Brazil's a lot cheaper, because he were aware that the Gracies had turned up, because he'd helped with seminars with Neil Adams and that with him and all that.
Yeah.
And it was dead cheap, and off I went. Not better to do. I just ended up in bother, Liam. I ended up in trouble,
Yeah. So when you came back from Brazil, how come you didn't open? You've never had your own gym, have you?
No, not really. Neil White mainly had the one. Me and Charlie trained in Doncaster together, me and Charlie Martin. Then Neil Owen come along, and Neil Owen was a rate unit. He was a former Castleford rugby league player, but he'd blown his knee out, so he didn't get his second year contract or something like that. So he were hanging around, training in one of gyms, and we got him involved, which were ace, because he was young. And he was natural, like 15, 16 stone lad at about 6'2", who could move like fuck. So straight away we thought, well, we're going to need him, because in a year we're never going to beat him, and he would exactly like that. And he loved it. And then Neil White turned up, and he was from the area as well, and he had quite a strong connection to the Olympic wrestling team, as well as good judo. He were older at the time, we were about 32, I think. And then he got involved, and because of his connection with the judo, he got a chance to go and use the judo club in Doncaster, which was one of the first judo halls in England. Proper building just for judo with sprung floor and showers and everything. So he got us a spot in there. So we trained in there, and that was Gracie Bar Doncaster, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it wasn't, I suppose my name was on the club through Carlos, but Neil White was the one who ran the what would you call it, the bullshit, the sorting stuff out. Mm-hmm. He knew the committee and all that. And then I think eventually he bought the building off them when the Judo Association were going to sell it, and that's now Doncaster Martial Arts Centre. Right. And his lad runs it. Because I remember little Chris when he was a kid. Right. Now he's, God, it must be now 30, I think now. And that's Donny. They've got 2 floors and they're doing it, so it's nice to have been a part of it. Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
It doesn't appeal to you to have your own gym now then?
No, I'm 50-year-old, I'm old, I don't give a shit about it. It's just nice to train wherever I go. Mm. If people if people think I've got the ability to show them something, I always will. Mm. But otherwise, I just want to train. I always loved training. I always did. That's what. When me and Charlie lived in the same house, it was good because his missus, I'd just give her some money and Maria just cooked for us. And all we did, we just trained a lot. I always enjoyed that physicality. Yeah. It seems to follow evolution as well, the more I check it. Men are supposed to embrace violence, aren't they? So I enjoyed throwing weights around and I enjoyed combat training.
I think it's what makes us all happy, isn't it?
Does me.
Otherwise, if we weren't doing it, probably everyone's going to be depressed.
I don't get off
in a rage
on flash cars. I did like motorbikes. I was into motorbikes. Okay. They're cheap, Liam. $3,000 will get you something that does 160 fucking mile an hour. Mm. And it's mint. You need $300,000 for equivalent in a car. Mm. Motorbikes are cheap, so I think that's why I've got a lot of injuries and all. I don't think falling off them fucking things helps me.
Okay, so I want to get on to, we touched on it, I asked you just after we finished the seminar, but just about the philosophy and the culture of gyms nowadays, compared to like when you were coming up, the old school, should we call it. Like I was saying, not everyone now has got, the pictures on the wall and tying their belt facing, and like I was saying to you about even lineups as well at the end of the classes. So how do you think it's changed, and is it for better, worse, and what should it be?
Yeah, I think the nature of what we're looking at there, from my perspective, is that when you're doing these particular, what you call it, ceremonies, it's not really about the men that are in the room. You're respecting what came before you. That's what you're doing. You're not bowing to that man who's wearing that belt. You're bowing to the belt he's worn because of the lineage that it's come from. And I think it's respectful. I don't. Too much of it's unnecessary, but I think personally a level of it is necessary. Lining up at the end, it's nice. It shows respect to the men that have taught you, from the lineage that they've come from and what they've learned from the men that are now dead and buried. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for Kano and these men in Brazil, we wouldn't be doing it. So we're showing just a little bit of respect to ourselves by respecting them. Mm-hmm. And it makes it quicker to shake hands by doing it that way. Should you bow to go on a mat? Yeah, because you're entering not that mat, you're entering all the mats in all the world that's ever done judo or Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. When you're facing the wall to tie your belt, because you're essentially originally off the mat. That's what you're doing. You don't bring a drink on a mat because it's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Why would you tell somebody you're getting off the mat? Well, because you might go to the toilet and have a stroke, and we don't know where the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I think I start to feel my age because I see some fucking arrogant, entitled little cunts that have never been punched in the face. And I don't understand what they're talking about. So you're just being rude and stupid. There's a difference between being insulting and being offensive. I'm offensive as fuck. Check offence. Don't insult somebody. That's different. That's totally fucking different. That's particular to them. It's out of order, that. I think the attitude of it stinks, a lot of it. I'll just do what I want. Well, all right then, but fuck off over there. It makes, I mean, you see a lot of them talking about, and if these blokes now are around, they'd only be purple belt level. They'd fucking kill you, mate. They'd kill you because they'd have modern steroids, modern training etiquette, and modern food. They'd rip your fucking arsehole out. And they were nuts. They were nuts.
I'm going to say different mentality.
Do you see those two fighters, those lads fighting for world title? World class fighters in wherever it were, in Dubai somewhere? Forget the names, but Joshua and...
Yeah, Joshua and Dubois.
Rocky Marciano would have beaten both in the same ring. I know that for a fact. Because he used to fight with his nose hanging off. He'd have died before he lost. That's what you're dealing with. And then put it into the modern methods. And he were about 13 stone. A lot of these young'uns, they just need to shut up and listen to... Find old men you respect. If you don't respect that old man, find one that you do, because they are around.
Yeah.
And they know more than you. And I know they know more than you because they know more than you. That's it. If you're young, you've not had the experience of knowing. I don't pass anything off as my experience. You're always standing on the shoulders of giants. Always. And to not think that is fucking dumb. It's dumb. They can do what they want. They can be as rude as they want because it'll only affect them. I think it's fucking insane, honestly. Some of the things that, well, we don't do that in our gym. Well, it's just fucking chaos then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks like a Nazi fucking punk rock party.
Yeah.
It's just insane. There's no discipline at all.
Yeah.
And if there's no... I mean, isn't that the most important thing as well? Discipline. Yeah. Motivation's pointless, isn't it? You can get motivated by a song, but it comes and goes. But discipline is important. And these things, I think, assist discipline. Because there's discipline in no-gi, there's discipline in wrestling. Without the belt, without putting the kimono on, they still line up. Don't you think them Dagestani fucking wrestling coaches demand discipline? Can you imagine the fucking discipline in that class?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And I think it'd be remarkable.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my take on it. There are some good young'uns about that follow this. Some of it doesn't translate, I don't think, into our culture well. Some of the etiquettes. But some of them are useful as a tool to grow and be a better man.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
You should be, how could I put it? You're responsible for your own actions. So if you've got more discipline, you're going to be a better man. I can't speak for women, I don't speak woman, I speak bloke. But for men, that bit of discipline, it helps, you know.
Yeah, I seen something on Facebook that Simon Hayes had put up, and I can't remember if you shared it or if you commented on it or something.
Oh,
he was
that
talking
long
about
one.
going
Good.
to someone else's gym. If he had a visitor come to his gym and he didn't know how to behave and had...
It's on his instructor.
Etiquette. Yeah, it's on
and
his
instructor.
And that really resonated with me because I thought...
And his instructor, you're like, this is ridiculous that they've not showed you how to just show someone some damn respect.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, it goes a long fucking way. And it wants to be that you want to show it. That's the other thing. These young ones that don't want to show respect, I'm like, well, then go and do something else. I hate the idea of somebody demanding it. Somebody should want to give it respect.
Yeah.
It's earned, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I want to give them respect. I want to, you know, I see Morrison on a mat and I want to stand at the edge and shout him and say, permission to enter. And he'll laugh, he says, of course, come on. But you should do that. You know, I mean, some of the young ones, they walk across, shake his hand, kiss him on the neck, and you see people like, what's going on? Why haven't you seen this before?
Yeah.
You know, what happens when you go home to see your mum? Do you give her a hug or do you headbutt her? It's fucking mental. Yeah.
Okay, so leading on from that then, how do you think the training methods of today have changed since back when you were coming up in your 20s?
To be honest, you know, I don't really witness the methods much, because if ever I go to a gym, I either just do a bit of sparring or I end up coaching. So I'm using the methods that I fucking know.
Yeah.
Although I'm lying, I have seen bits. It tends to be very similar to how we did it. You play around with a compliant partner to feel what it's doing, and then put that situation a little bit into Randori, into live sparring, and see how it feels, and then do a bit of specific sparring, and then have a couple of rounds and go home. I don't think you can improve on that, can you? I'd like to see what the physiologists and experts and sports coaches, and I know that Bobby does it the same fucking way, so the PhDs, they follow that same method. Yeah. So,
but there's a lot of this ecological training that people are speaking about now. Have you heard of that? Where they're talking about, it's basically like playing games rather than drilling. So they're using it as this debate of drilling versus ecological training, and they're saying that drilling is dead now, and that this game playing is the way forward.
Well, first of all, if somebody says that to me, drilling is dead, we'd have to really come to a mutual ground, common ground of what do you mean by drilling? Do you mean just practicing a move on a compliant partner?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I think that's dead once you know it. But I think it's critical to do that first.
Yeah.
I don't drill a move that I know. I specific spar it.
Yeah.
But if you showed me a modern leg lock, I'm not sparring that. I need to drill it for a few months to see how it feels. It's a new tool.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I need to get the feel of it, and then I can try and... So I think drilling's a waste of time once you know the move.
Right, yeah.
Then it needs to be specific training.
Well,
what do they mean by ecological games? Sounds like a word fucking salad, doesn't it? What do they mean?
To be honest with you, it's only new to me.
Explain it more, because I wonder if we've got an old name for it. Go on.
Yeah, so my kind of understanding of it is it's pretty much just playing games, very similar to how I would say on one of my kids' classes.
Be really specific.
So I would say, like, let's say we're doing...
with adults, yeah?
Yeah, so we're doing this with adults. Not that I don't use this at the minute.
Go on.
Okay, I do little parts of it.
I'm not going to criticise you. I just want to know what you're doing.
I'm just saying that's why I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Okay.
But basically, as an example...
You don't know. You fucking started this. You brought it up.
So basically, an example would be, say, doing an arm bar from mount, and then starting at the very end of the arm bar and getting your partner to escape it. Okay? So you've got, like, say, a locked out arm bar. So you do that for a few minutes. Then maybe you take it back a step where they've got their hand defended, and you're gonna spar it from there, basically. So can you get the hand away?
We've always done it this way. It's called sparring.
And you basically just keep working back like that.
They've renamed specific training. I can't believe they've come up with it. Why do they keep fucking doing this?
What?
Have you heard of a fucking a lightning strike hot dog? And you're like, it's a fucking figure four arm.
Do you know
what are you going on about?
I had a feeling this would be your answer.
That's exactly how you do it. That's how we've always done it. We train like that, right? So you learn the move and how to do it. Then you're right, let me see if I can get it on when it's really tight or really loose. And let's go in between the distance of how tight and loose I can get it on. They honestly think they've invented this. This is the only way anybody's ever trained.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen...
Look how arrogant that is.
I mean, again, I'm not like...
Fuck me.
I've not done all my research onto this ecological training, but
what it's got me thinking about... What it's got me thinking about is this. Somebody pointed out to me that some fucking bird in America think they've invented going for a walk without listening to music. They have this name for it. Something about being walking at one. Something. How boring 1974, whenever you used to walk anywhere, you didn't have any music on. The fuck? It's called going for a walk.
I bet she's a millionaire though, ain't she? I bet she's made a load of money off of it.
These people that use ecological, it's just specific training.
Yeah,
what
I mean, the thing is though, anytime anyone, that's the first thing I said, yeah, when someone brought it to me, I said, well, isn't that just like doing specifics? Like we do that at the end of a lot of our classes, like we work a move through the class, and then at the end of it, we have a portion of time to specifically work it.
You know what I want to see next? I want to see some wanker on one of these platforms showing how you can strengthen top of your fucking overhead press by putting it on a bar near the top and lifting it up. And I'm going to send them a book that were in the 1800s of them telling you to do exactly that. And it's called Training. I'm like, you're just fucking arseholes, all you. It's like the level of ignorance and arrogance is getting outstanding. Ecological, what?
I mean, I hope I've explained it properly. There's probably going to be someone who does the ecological training that's probably going to say Liam's absolutely butchered like what we do.
I can guarantee.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
I can almost guarantee that whatever I'll listen to him, but I just don't think that they're going to I think somebody like Gorthorpe and Neil Adams would just go, hey, that's what we've always done.
I suppose it's the same as taking a move, isn't it, and renaming it, I guess.
That's all they do. They do. And then they say things like, yeah, but you've got to move with the times. And I say to him, yeah, but we called that a butterfly hook sweep. You've called it something else, right? You've devolved it, because what you've said means nothing. What I've said, you can understand it even if you don't see it.
Yeah.
So this isn't getting better, it's getting worse. Yeah. Fuck off.
Do you think the same of all the Japanese names for stuff? Like how Danaher calls everything by a Japanese name?
Well, I think with that, it mainly was with judo because it was the universal language. I don't think it's as necessary with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Although you did sometimes hear that in Brazil, you got the Japanese, and it was good because you knew exactly what it was, because it's a universal language. So you could get a guy in Romania that doesn't speak English, and you can visit him at a judo club, and if you say Juji Gatami, he knows exactly what it fucking is. But I don't think it's particularly relevant for this sport, because we tend to, especially in our country, we just use our English phrases. Some moves we might use if it's really classically judo orientated, you might use that term, and a lot of people will know what it is or might want to know because it's such a famous term. That makes sense. It's like knowing a few phrases in another language which is relevant, isn't it, I suppose? You know, you're like bonjour means hello. You just know this, and so why not? But apart from that, I think the terminology, the names are only okay to give them a name if it makes it easier and quicker to learn. If it's already got a name, well, why are you giving it another fucking name?
I mean, I guess it just comes down to the person understanding what it is you mean. As long as you can describe something and they understand it.
And it's one thing as well giving it a name to help your students, but then it's another thing you've fucking invented it. Like, this is mental. Like, you've not invented anything. It just comes full circle. You know, do you know what you like the on about the sankaku, the fucking the saddles? And I'm like, you do realise that my dad's from the north of England. That's where they fucking develop. Of course, I know what an inside and outside saddle. You're just giving it another name.
So you've turned 50 this year, right? So how's that feel?
1 year older than 48, 49.
So how are you staying in good shape enough to be able to do jiu-jitsu?
I'm not.
Because if you look at a lot of 50-year-olds, they ain't doing what you're doing.
Because they're wankers. It's not right. It's not right in the eyes of God either. It's pathetic. No, it's pathetic. They're fucking pathetic. You know, Mensa was mental, you know, one of the old bodybuilders. But he was right in terms, I don't know if he actually said this or paraphrased it. It's a man's duty to be his own hero. Otherwise, you're just a fucking pathetic tool. What do you mean you look like that? Yeah, I used to look, and they say I used to look better. No, you didn't. No, you're like.
So what?
Fight it and train hard and eat well. And whatever you need to take from a doctor to keep yourself going, take it. If you need thyroid meds, if you need hormonal medication, go to a doctor and take it. And keep going. Be a man. Don't accept that, but that's what happens when you get old. No, we died. Go to churchyard and read books. 35, 40, everybody's dead. Sepsis, childbirth, teeth. You know, if you're old and you look like Sylvester Stallone, or you're old and you look like Santa Claus, they're both unnatural. You shouldn't be it. You're supposed to be dead. And so if you're a lion, if you did stuff, make sure you can still do it, or you'll go fucking mad, you'll string yourself up. Them lads that are walking around at 50 that are fine, they never did fuck all when they were younger. They've always been right steady. Well, I'm not, I'm mental. So take the stuff. Go and see your doctors, get your stuff. Take it, train, hard, eat properly. Don't accept, I'm getting old now. No, you are. I'm fucked. I've got loads of injuries, but I know people that are far more fucked than me that never did anything. Imagine that. Imagine being fucked and you've got no story of why. So why is it you've got your broken back? Is it them hundreds of fights and fucking swimming in sea and motorbikes and no, it was driving a car for 40 years and just getting fat. Like, fucking lie down and I'll put a fucking pillar over your head, mate. The wives must fucking hate him. I'd like to look like you, but I can't. Well, you can. Just don't be a wanker. Get on with it. You're supposed to do it. They're a disgrace. Fucking hell, I just look at them and think, look fucking state. I mean, I might drop dead tomorrow, but I'm pushing. I'm pushing hard. They're the wankers. You're a weak wanker. Stop being weak.
I did a podcast the other week with Lyndon, and he was saying a similar thing with his age. So I was asking him, like, you know,
me and Lyndon have nearly been dead a lot. You know that, right?
Yeah, and I said
so we have conversations that other lads can't.
Yeah.
We've been there when doctors have gone, fucking hell, I don't think, and we've gone, no, that's you, not me.
Yeah. Well, this is his mentality now. I really took something away from him.
I know.
And I've known Lyndon for a long time, so he is like he's kind of like, I wouldn't tell him this, but he's like an inspirational person to me in terms of like how old he is and how he lives his life. And he lives it almost. He does live it to the maximum because he's travelling a lot and he's doing the things he wants to do. He lives it on his terms, and so I really respect him for that. And he said about I don't think about my age at all. Like, I just keep competing. I don't accept that I'm getting older. I just live my life.
There's no. Is there a fucking choice?
Well,
I'm not aware of it. As far as I know, Liam, right, we live in a world, our universe moves like in a linear progression with time. So I can't go other way. I'm going to get older. Well, tough. So that's one thing you can't change. Well, then leave it alone and get on with what you can.
Yeah,
I got on well with Linda. We've just both nearly been dead a lot.
Yeah.
And it changes your outlook on it, and the only thing that makes you survive is you. When you're laid in them fucking hospital beds, you're on your fucking own. I don't care who stood around you. You're in your own head. So you better get strong because you're going to die on your fucking own. I don't care who stood there, you'll die on your own. Well, get strong. If you need to be religious, be religious. If you need to do something about it, do something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got well with Linda very well because of that. Legend. Yeah, we just don't handle weakness that you can control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're a man, I can't speak for women. I don't speak bird, I speak bloke. But men, I'm like, what are you whining about? Yeah. I'll listen to your problem once, and I'll listen to my own problem once.
Yeah.
Then every fucking statement after that needs to be based upon us finding a solution. Or shut up.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is brilliant advice. I could literally clip
moaning.
That, and that'd be really good advice for a lot of people.
Moaning. They want you to agree with him.
Yeah.
They want you to agree with why their world's a shit. And the only problem is you. Sort it out. Yeah. Like, fucking hell, you've got missus and kids. Be a hero for them. Stop fucking pissing and moaning.
Yeah, that's brilliant advice. So yeah, one of the things that Wayne asked me to ask you was, how did you deal with your health issues that you had?
You have a choice.
Yeah.
No fucking choice. It's been there all my life. The mutations I've got, they're just, everybody's dead that's got it. Most of them die in early at childbirth. A lot of them don't make it out of a wheelchair. There's no choice. So it doesn't become an issue. It's not like I'm angry with it, but it's indifference. I'm not on any different. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, where does that come from then? So how do you have that mentality?
There's no choice.
But there is a choice because, like you just said, there's other men that would lie down and die and become out of shape.
But they still didn't have a choice of having what they've got. That's what I mean. I've always been that way. I've never thought that. I don't like the idea of there not being a solution. There is, I mean, in terms of where we are as well, just the simplicity of something like our passport. If you're born in England, you could literally walk on moon. You could be an astronaut and walk on moon. If you're born in England, you won lottery straight away. I don't even play lottery. No fucking point because I've already won it. Because my passport is that colour. I think always, never, no. It just always was, and you think, well, that's that, and that's what that is, and I've never known any different. I suppose it's like a kid being born with 3 legs. He's only ever had 3 legs. Well, get on with it, mate. Yeah. There's blokes walking around with cocks that big. I've seen documentaries. It's hilarious. They don't kill the fucking sons. I want to see it. Show us your cock, mate. It sounds hilarious. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But not everyone's like that.
Get better. Improve every fucking day.
Yeah.
Get better. Yeah. Do more. It's fun. Pushing's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
What can I achieve now?
Yeah, I think that's it.
If you get ill, you think, how short can I be ill for? Yeah. Can I be ill for a day? You know what I mean? That's it. My mum said that. I got chicken pox and I had it for an hour and a half. Ask me, mum. Yeah. So you got chicken pox, you had it for an hour and a half.
Do you still do all your breathing techniques?
Yeah.
Is that part of the Hatha yoga? Is that what it's called?
I suppose. I think Hatha yoga's the root of it all, the original one, isn't it? I'm not educated enough in that to know, but I do believe that that's like the equivalent of like Latin being the root of the Latin languages. I think Hatha is the original, what we class as the modern yoga, I think. Right. They all come from that.
Okay.
So yeah, pranayama, the breathing idea. Yeah, I enjoy it, but I don't do the advanced stuff because I can't do it. I find the basic fundamental stuff's fucking hard enough.
Yeah.
So I just stick with that because I haven't mastered that yet. It's fascinating because it's hard to do.
Yeah. What do you think it gives you in terms of like improving your life or even with doing sport?
I think it definitely gives you a better understanding of how you breathe, which helps you with any sport where you've got to breathe more. Because you can feel, how would I put it, you can feel all the different apparatus working different. And you think, oh, that's interesting, how that's shifting and moving. And that's quite interesting. I'm assuming it would have some beneficial health implications. I don't really think about that, to be honest. I do it because it's hard and it's fun. I think, just like you'd lift weights or jiu-jitsu. I like the challenge of it. It's very internal as well. There's only you doing it. But jiu-jitsu's like that, isn't it? Your competition's you, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're getting better or you're getting worse. You know, if I do something good, it's because of me. And if I'm crap, it's because of me.
Yeah.
With everything.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest draws to jiu-jitsu. I mean, it was for me because I never did any. I was never very good at sport, and I only ever really played like team games, football, and stuff like that. And then when I got into jiu-jitsu and worked that out, that it was just on me. I think that's what made me. You're
the victim and the champion, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's up to you. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I like the way you can't blame anybody else, and so therefore that's beneficial. So in terms of what Wayne's asking, how did I deal with it? I don't, and it's never been a stigma either. I don't think everybody's ever thought that's Ben who's got this ever. I think they probably thought that's Ben who'll pull your fucking head off, and that wasn't the aim either. I'm indifferent to both.
Yeah.
No choice. So get on with it. Stop fucking moaning. If you can't change it, just get over it. You
know. What's a day in Ben Poppleton's life look like?
Depends where I am, I suppose.
So when you're in Tenerife,
I tend to sleep on terrace under a mozzie net.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Mosquito net. Get up.
What do you sleep on?
On a mattress.
Yeah.
Memory foam.
See, look, you do like a bit of luxury then.
I like memory foam. Oh no, I love luxury like that, yeah. Memory foam mattress. It's the same one I've had for 10 years. It's well comfy. Stinks. Under a mozzie net. I love that. Yeah. I like it. Sometimes next door's cat comes to see me and wakes me up. Drink some coffee and sit and eat my food on terrace.
Yeah.
But then go down, get on my little bike, ride down on my little moped, go down to the seafront, takes about 10 minutes, swim at sea, come back and eat again, then I'll either go to the gym and lift weights or do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'll eat again, and then I'll go and do the opposite, either gym, then I might go to sea again, and I come home and go to bed, and I do it again. That's it. Nothing complicated.
It's life, isn't it?
Yeah, I might spend a bit of time sat doing a bit of breathing, pissing around. I might stretch a bit areas that are fucked. Do a bit of rehab. That's it. Lads there that are very educated, very qualified in rehab. There's a specific rehab guy who works for NFL teams and baseball teams in America, but he's located in Tenerife. That's his base. Polish kid, and he's very, very clever. He works a lot with me because I'm fucked. That's it. Simple, really.
It is
really
simple.
quite simple.
Yeah. You not got a missus and any kids?
No kids. Got missus. Yeah, got a wife. Okay. She loves it. No, they just didn't turn up. We didn't have them. I think I probably broke. They never turned up. We just never had any. We've had animals, but no. Same. We've got a missus. She loves it there.
Yeah.
She's a very, 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 very high qualified academic, but now she doesn't need to do shit at all. Not bothered. I do it all, and she loves that.
Yeah. So she just lives a life as you live it as well. Does she train?
Yeah, she doesn't like jiu-jitsu. She's got no interest in it at all.
Okay.
But she does like to. She likes to lift weights, and she's very, very, very much a girl, very, very, very feminine. But she has a lovely time, and she don't have to work. She's fine. She has a right nice time, and she loves her life. If she wants to get a job, she can, but she don't have to. Because I don't think women should have to if they don't want.
Yeah.
They really shouldn't. If they don't want to, they shouldn't have to. If she wants to, if she does, she can. But if she don't, I'll do it. Yeah. That's it. That's my life. Piss easy, right easy.
So are you able to live this lifestyle because you've both like worked enough money up to be able to almost like retire?
I'm basically nearly retired, yeah. And we don't spend anything. We've got a few houses between us, some old houses that we bought that we own, and get a bit of rent from that. And I do other bits and bobs with my mum and dad.
Yeah.
I don't really make money out of jiu-jitsu or anything, but I don't spend much.
Yeah.
What we live off during the year is nearly nothing really. I bet people spend it in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing with it. It's wasting money.
Yeah.
The way we live, it's almost like a 15-minute city. When I'm on my terrace in my little flat, I can basically see everywhere I'm going to go that day. It's a long way down a hill.
Yeah.
You can't throw a stone at it, but I can see it, you know.
Yeah.
So I can see where I'm going to the supermarket, I can see the gym I'm going to go to, I can see, I live in just a little bubble, and it's fine. It allows me to improve in areas that I'm crap at. I don't want any more because I'm still shit at that.
Yeah.
I'm still shit at jiu-jitsu. I'm not strong enough. I'm not mentally strong enough. My pranayama's crap. And I'm still not focused enough, and I'm still too weak. So don't give me any more, because I've got enough homework.
Yeah.
Please don't give me any more. I need to work on that so I'm prepared for fucking God. And I'm still not ready. I'm reading as much as I can, and I still can't read Arabic. And I'm doing my damnedest here, but don't give me any more, because I'm still fucking this up. Yeah.
So another question I have from one of the lads is, how do you develop a jiu-jitsu game as an older person? Although, yeah, basically, for guys that are getting into it like in their 30s, 40s, like how they want to know how to develop their jiu-jitsu.
No idea, because I didn't do it like that.
Yeah, do you know what? People ask me that, and I always say the same thing. Like, I was in my 20s when I started, so
no idea.
Yeah,
can't help you. You better ask somebody that's like that. I mean, I might have some ideas, but you go into Monkey, go to organ grinding, mate. Ask somebody that knows. I've never done that, so
yeah.
I would recommend that they get strong.
Yeah.
Get strong.
Yeah.
Lift some weights and get strong, because it's going to minimise injuries.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that when they first start jiu-jitsu, say late 30s, 40s, they haven't done anything else. So they're not coming from any kind of athletic background at all. And like you say, they've probably been sitting around driving cars, sitting at a desk, and you're almost starting like
a very, very, very
scratch.
dangerous, dynamic fucking sport from nothing.
Yeah.
It's back to that idea of jiu-jitsu for everybody. It's absolute twaddle, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to ask you
what a
about
load of
that
bollocks that is. Look around, Matt. It's full of people you wouldn't fucking leave with your dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll look after your dog, mate. You're all right. Fuck that.
Do you watch much jiu-jitsu then? I think I asked you that, didn't I?
Not really, no. Bits sometimes, but not a lot, no, I don't really.
So you just enjoy the training element?
Yeah. Yeah, too selfish. I don't really want to watch.
Yeah.
I won't watch that. I'd rather watch a film.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do it for me. Some things are cool. Sometimes, yeah, I like watching, especially if maybe I know blokes involved. Like I watched that because I know Owen really quite well. I'm in life, so I watched him on that. I was ace to watch him on that because he did right well. I mean, fucking what everybody forgot and all, he was fucking 25 kilo lighter than him.
Yeah.
As well,
Muhammad Ali's massive as well, ain't it?
And other lad after him only fought for about 4 fucking seconds and fought him.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, they're world class, all of them.
Yeah.
But when you got, I think it's nice when you've got an emotional vested interest in it. I like that. That was fun to watch. Otherwise, I don't think I'd have watched it.
Yeah.
And what do you call the little Welsh lass? I mean, she's hard as fuck.
Fionn.
She's ace to watch because she just goes balls out, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You can tell that I think if she lost, she'd cry.
Yeah.
She just wants to win. I love watching her.
Yeah. She's absolutely world class.
She has that essence of judo in her all, where when she fights, there's so much abandonment.
Yeah.
She goes for something absolutely completely.
Yeah.
Like she either throws them or she'd headbutt floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just amazing.
She's
to watch
from judo background, isn't she?
Yeah. I've never met the lass, but she don't half go for it. She really goes for it. But she's ever so strong and all. Have you seen her stripped off?
Yeah. I think she's into weightlifting.
Fuck, yeah. She's ever so strong. So any lasses doing it, like, you need to look at her. You need to, she's got build of a fucking 15-year-old boy. She's strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She looks like a crossfitter. Like, you need to look at her legs. You need to lift. No being skinny
back to what you said about making sure you're strong if you're getting into jiu-jitsu.
Like I said, you've seen her. Fucking arms like this. Look at her. Not fucking about that, lass.
Yeah. So do you do anything that maybe like to keep improving jiu-jitsu, or do you just rely on the kind of things you've learned over years? I
still don't know it enough. A little bit the latter. I just can't get it right, so I need to keep working on. I like looking at some new bits, especially if I can add it onto what I'm doing, or more importantly, if you can help me what I'm still doing wrong. I still can't do it properly. The bits I know, I don't get it right. I've got errors, and I think I need to keep cleaning that up.
So would you say you're just self-taught nowadays then? There's no one that really coaches you?
Oh, no, they do. I have to go and ask them because I don't know why this error's wrong. So if I bump into the better men, you'll see me point it out.
Who would be those people that you would class as people that would coach you?
In England, Mauricio, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Hodger too, but Mauricio better. Gawthorpe, of course, with the arm lock. Let me just think. And in Brazil, and fucking multitude. Of course, Gordo and Pitoko at Gordo's place, and all the guys, mainly the guys that were close to Gracie's. They know answer. That's why. Yeah. You ain't got to hunt for what, maybe this, maybe that. They're just like, no, it's this, look. And they'll go, look. And you're like, oh, fuck's sake. And I want to see it. I'm still attempting to clean up what I'm getting wrong.
Yeah. So
because there's errors in that today. I can feel there's errors in what I'm doing. I'm like, I don't know this angle right. It's off. Yeah. It's off. And I can't quite get the... Last time we were in Brazil, it'd been a couple of years ago now, actually. I spent a few months over there, and I stayed with Gordo's other brother, actually, Renato. I trained every day at Gordo's place. Gordo went there, but Pitoko runs it. I mean, on that map, sometimes it's just unbelievable. I mean, 20 black belts and 5 fucking coral belts. And they remember me. And so, and I can speak bits reasonable sometimes in jiu-jitsu terms, Brazilian Portuguese. So I'm talking to them, and they remember me, and I'm getting the information off them, and it was necessary. But I'm working on that still. That was a couple of years ago. I'm still working through and I need to see one of them because I'm not quite getting right what he showed me, and I can't wait to see him. Yeah, there's a particular thing he was doing. I'm like, I can't get that right. I need to see him again. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you follow any of the latest people, like your Craig Joneses, your Gordon Ryans? Is there anything that you take from them, or do you just think that they're doing things that's
right? They just do it really right.
Yeah.
I don't think they do out new. They're just brilliant. If you slow them down, they're very fast, but if you slow them down, they do it perfect.
Yeah.
Don't try and emulate that speed.
Yeah.
They're doing it fast, correctly.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. Yeah. They beat fuck out of you. They're absolutely brilliant. Yeah. There's a lot of fundamental stuff that them lads are doing, which has never changed. Watch them. They hit positions, and that's very good. Oh, they're fucking geniuses. And they're full time at it.
Yeah.
On every angle, aren't they? With their own personal trainer, to the diet coach, to the gear, to everything. It's all on point. Yeah. But the training and the mindset is, I mean, that Australian lad, that's Craig Jones, isn't it? He's got a strong mind, that lad.
Yeah.
You can see he's tough. Yeah. Take an hammer to kill him.
Yeah. Okay, mate. So we're coming to the end now then. So what I want to finish with is I'm going to ask you a couple of jiu-jitsu quotes, and you tell me if you think there's any truth to them. One of them you've already answered, but...
Go on. Go on.
It's not who's good, it's who's left.
It's a bit subjective. Truth
to that?
It's a bit subjective, that, isn't it?
Well, I think a lot of quotes are, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
But there's people that live and die by these quotes as
I think the idea of that is that if you keep going, you'll get good. That's a better way of putting it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just...
Yeah, so there is an element of truth to it, but it is who's good. It is important who's good. Otherwise, you remember who's good, don't you? I do. I think
that's Chris Hayter one. Is it Chris Hayter, Chris Houter?
Yeah, it's a little blonde-haired guy from America.
He's the one that said that. It's not who's good, it's who's left.
I think a better way of putting that is that I want to say to the Brazilians, say, look, in 15 years' time, you might have a different job and a different house, and you might even have a different wife, and you might as well have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Just keep going. And I like that. I think that's better. I think there is truth in that, but it's a bit subjective, that.
Yeah.
It's not who's good. It is who's good. Otherwise, well, they're good.
Yeah. Right, my next one is jiu-jitsu saved my life.
Yeah.
Save your life?
A lot of people, I think. A lot of people, I think it did. Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It's modern combat, isn't it? Men have got to embrace violence, haven't they? I think for a lot of years I had some certain thoughts in my head that I'm not intelligent enough or eloquent enough to get out in a statement. Then you meet geniuses, because of the modern world and the internet and social media, you meet genius psychologists and sociologists that can say what you thought, and you think, yes, that.
Yeah,
well, I do. Yeah. One does. When I say you, I mean like the royal you, like as in one would think, yes. What do you call the doctor from America? The Canadian guy who said,
Peterson.
Yeah, you need to. A man needs to understand violence to be afraid of it and be a good man.
Yeah.
You know, a weak man's not a good man.
Yeah.
He's just incapable.
Yeah.
A very good man's a violent man controlling, and I think that's what jiu-jitsu does. It gives us a way to live as we should have done. Yeah. You need to throw weights around or people around to be a good man.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely saves lives. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Touched on this one. Jiu-jitsu is for everybody.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It's for hardly anybody. Jiu-jitsu's for a very select
But a lot of
few.
people do it.
Yeah, but compared to who? How many people on the planet? I could be a right knobhead there and say, how many people live in England and how many do jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
And then it's statistically significant that hardly anybody's doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
You either win or you learn.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah. That's Carlinhos. Yeah. He used to always say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's been
My dad used to say you're either earning or you're learning. Completely same one.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah.
That one as well. Yeah. I know
Is that Sal?
I mean, I don't know who. Those last two, you either win or you learn, and slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I know John Kavanagh has used those a lot with Connor. So I know that's where they've been maybe a bit famed for. I mean, it's like what we're talking about jiu-jitsu moves. I'm sure that someone else has said these in the past and someone else has just...
The one about you win and learn, it might not originally said it, but I know the modern phrase of that came from Carlinhos about 10, 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm not sure if that next one got more modernised and brought into the modern, what do you call it, fashion by Saul. He might have done that one. Yeah. He did a few like that, didn't he? He would. If you... What does it say? If you think you're late, if you're late, you muscle. If you muscle, you tie. If you tie, you die. Yeah. Salad Bear was a clever man. Yeah. Mean bastard him. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
That's it. That was my 5 to finish off, just to see what you thought. But I wanted to get the jiu-jitsus for everybody out of you because I know that you mentioned that on Dan Strauss's as well.
What a load of bollocks that is. Just look round the mat. Look round the mat. To be anything, if you want real clarity of that, look at the female competitors. Them lasses are real oddballs compared to normal lasses. Because men are weird anyway. Men are generally weird and ugly. We're just a step up from a monkey, aren't we, men? Right? But lasses, you can see the difference in them that compete and do jiu-jitsu. Yeah. They're totally different to normal lasses. They're our little nutters. You can see it. They're our little head cases. They're fascinating. They really are. Some of them like fucking poison little dwarves. Mad little bitches. You're like, you won't piss her off. Christ. Tear your fucking head off.
All right, finally then, mate. Have you? Well, I've put what is your biggest regret? Have you got any regrets?
I wish I'd have trained more.
Like from an earlier age,
I feel like what is it? I should have Ricky Gervais, shouldn't I? What's your biggest regret? Alton Towers.
Yeah, do you mean like you should have started earlier, or that you just should have done more with the time allotted?
Both. I should have trained even more in Brazil. Injured to fuck, got smashed to bits, and if I could do it again, I'd have done more.
But would you have listened to your body this time if you were injured?
No, I'd have done more.
Just done more, but
it
broken.
Breaks anyway. It's bollocks. I suppose once you're injured, don't be ignorant, don't hurt yourself, but it breaks anyway. It's supposed to. Yeah. Them discs and stuff, they're supposed to go. Yeah. It's like it's designed,
Yeah. At what point do you think you have to stop doing jiu-jitsu?
Never.
Do you reckon? Never. All the way to the end?
Yeah, you can always play a game, can't you? Yeah. You can always specific spar. Elio did. I dread to think how many injuries he had. Yeah. God, he was only as big as your thumb and he fought everybody. That fight with Kimura must have took 20 years off him. Have you seen that? God, he gets thrown around like a ragdoll and does not give in. I think his brother has to throw towel in and his arms bending every which way but right fucking way and his head's hanging off. Yeah. And he was sparring right to end, laughing with his sons with mount game. You seen it? Yeah. Playing mount game. You're like, that's the way. Yeah. That's the way, yeah. What did he say to Marcus Trower? Marcus asked him, what would you do if you could? He said, I really wish I were a young man so I could have challenged Sakuraba. I wanted to fight. Because Sakuraba loved him as well, didn't he? At the very end, I think in one of his last fights, he saw him and he was like, I went across to him. Because, I think Elio wanted to fight Sakuraba. I would have loved to fight him, isn't he?
I remember meeting Billy Robinson. He did a seminar at Shoot Fighters, and then when I was travelling in America...
He ended up living over there, didn't he?
Yes, not long before he died, he was living in Arkansas with, not with Rolly Delgado, but he was teaching at Rolly Delgado's place. Only teaching to 3 or 4 people. He was like this lost relic almost.
A walking stick.
Yeah. And Rolly literally said that...
shouting at everybody.
He said he got him down there because his classes weren't popular. He was shouting and screaming and abusing everyone. Like, people wouldn't come to the classes. He said, but it's Billy Robinson, I've got to have him down here. And so I met him a couple of times. And Yeah, like his body was absolutely broken.
Wrecked,
I
yeah.
remember the first time I see him, he couldn't come up the stairs. So in shoot fighters, they've got
Wasn't he
they had
about
a lift.
88 when he died, though?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think he was
how
old,
old he
you know.
was, but
I think he just looked well because he'd fought, because he'd trained all his life.
Yeah.
I think he was an old man, you know.
Yeah.
I think, oh, look at the state of him, and I think, no, he looks really well
yeah,
for
I'd
his
have
age.
to look into how old he was. But yeah, I remember thinking to myself, that's probably going to be me one day. Like I'm going to live the last few years of my life on a walking
Well, then you come to
stick,
self-defence and all,
barely
man,
able
just buy
to
a
talk.
fucking shotgun.
Because I mean, he couldn't even talk that well. So he had this lad that was with him. So he was teaching the seminar, but it was like through the other lad. Yeah, so he was teaching through his other lad basically, and even the lad that obviously he knew him well. He was teaching the class for him, but whenever he got something wrong, he was swinging his stick around and shouting at him, and yeah, he definitely commanded some respect.
Yeah,
even in his oldest age.
Fuck.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, what a guy.
Yeah, I never met him.
Really?
No, I met Jack Mountford. He were awesome. He went into recently. He were hard as nails. I was doing a camp up at Lakes, and he'd messaged on one of the boards about it, because he knew the area, and I said, because he judo black belt as well. I said, Sensei Mountford, just come up. He said, I've had a stroke, so I can't. I said, just sit on the side of the mat and he shouted at us. He were laughing. He said, I can't, I don't want to get involved. And I was like, come and shout at us and tell us what we're doing wrong. But anyway.
Brilliant. Any last words before I switch us off?
Yeah,
I think you got it all off your chest.
Don't listen to me, I'm full of shit. That's what my mum says.
What a way to finish it off.
That's what my mum says.
Everyone's just spent an hour and a half listening.
Listen to my fucking crap.
Brilliant, mate.
If you listen to this, you need to get a fucking life. Honestly. Go and do something. You're better off knocking one off than listening to it.
All right, well, thank you very much for doing that for me anyway. And I'm sure everyone will appreciate that.
Pleasure. If they don't like it, fuck them.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. If you want to hear more from the BMA Podcast, follow us on Spotify for full audios. You can find clip videos on the Bermuda Martial Arts YouTube channel. And finally, search at Bermuda Martial Arts on Instagram for even more content. Feel free to comment opinions on the podcast and anyone you would like to see featured. Thanks for supporting.